to a Road Less Traveled podcast. I'm your host, Hilary Haron, and today we have with us Paula DeYoung and Ashley Young-Seibert. Thank you, ladies, for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you for inviting us.
I'm really excited to kind of dive into your dynamics because I'm inspired by, at my core, women in a male-dominated industry. And you guys are you're builders. Is that the correct term? Is it builders? Is it construction?
Yeah, both.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Home
Okay.
building and construction and land development, real estate, mortgage business, all pretty male dominant.
Okay. All right. Well, I want to hear a little bit about it from Paula, and then I want to hear a little bit about it from Ashley because I want to hear if there's progression.
Yeah.
So how has that experience been for you?
Well, when I started in the business, when we started our company, it was 1974. So we are now hitting a half a century this year.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's really exciting in September.
That's a big
So,
celebration. September's the best month.
Yes. And so 8,000 homes later, we've
Wow.
been busy for the last half century.
Yeah.
And when I reflect upon it a little bit, like starting in the business with women in 1974 in the mid 70s, it was, yes, very male dominant. There were a couple of women though in the industry who inspired me. Mm-hmm. A couple in real estate, some in the mortgage side, and there was one who was on the construction side. Mm-hmm. And they were inspiring, but there weren't a lot of women then. Today, it's really evolved, and I think the construction industry has really opened up to women and providing training and opportunities. So you do see a lot more women across the board. And in our industry, there's almost anything you could find that you would enjoy because there's architecture, there's real estate sales, there's the mortgage business, there's accounting, there's the construction side, there's a lot of different facets to be able to find something that you'd be interested in.
To really a dynamic business.
Mm-hmm.
Have you found that to be the case? So from the automotive business, some of the older horror stories, like the receptionist or just there's only women belong in the business office. And some of that rhetoric is still around. Have you experienced any of that, or has it been helpful having another woman to be able to?
Yeah. I feel like having her be, one of the owners of the company, I feel like it sets a tone for our entire company and every department, So I think that obviously helps. And yeah, I would say it must have changed potentially from when you first began because me and my experience has been nothing but, it being totally okay to have women in any type of role, any department, not a problem at all. Like we have had women in our construction department and, all the other departments like she's mentioned. So from my experience, I have not noticed any issue. So I think that's attributing to the growth that has happened.
110%.
But, she may have a different perspective after 50 years of how it's changed.
Yeah, I never had anything that was overt or negative said to me when I started in the industry, but I, from the get-go, was an owner of our company, and so that probably prohibited that kind of manner of treatment. But you were pretty much a lone wolf because you were in a very male-dominant society in the mid-70s. But my attitude was, from the start, I finished my education. I graduated USC. I returned to Fresno. I wanted to live here and raise my family here. And I wanted to learn. So I knew enough that I didn't know enough. And so I was willing to show up prepared, willing to learn, willing to do the homework in advance. So I was ready when we were on the job and or in meetings and very open and eager to learn from whoever was willing to mentor me.
That actually leads me into, I have two questions brewing right now, but one question that I always like to touch on is, did you have any mentors in the course of your career that made a huge impact? Because I'm sure there are many mentors in different areas, but like one or two in particular?
I did. My father was in the industry, And so he, of course, was the main mentor. But he was well respected by his peers. And his peers were very willing to take John's kids under their wings and mentor us.
That's amazing.
And so we had really the people who were pioneering home building, land development, the mortgage business, real estate sales. They took us under their wings and they mentored us. So I was very fortunate to learn from the best.
That's awesome.
You're looking at mine. She's here right now. I mean, I grew up drawing floor plans. I think we thought I would be an architect, but the numbers aren't my favorite thing. So I like the creative aspect of it. But yeah, I mean, she is inspiring. She has her work boots in her trunk, her construction hat, but she's always dressed to the nines.
Love
it. And, she's ready to go on the job site. She's nonstop, thinking about how can we improve things? How can we make a difference? And she's been doing it for so long because she has such a huge passion for the industry. And so growing up, I was just around both of my parents being so passionate about building homes and the building process. And like she mentioned, there's so many different departments, which is really exciting. So, we touch on design, we touch on the construction side, we touch on marketing. There's the mortgage side, there's the sales side. There's so many different things that you can learn in just one business. It's super interesting,
And I think that's a really special kind of relationship. It's a special bond. I worked with my dad too. So it's a really special way to say, like, most kids are like, I mean, my 5-year-old right now, you don't know. And I'm like, oh my God, does it get better? So to me, like, it really struck me when you said that, you and your mom are able to work together and that you're so inspired by her, because oftentimes the kid can be like, no, I know everything. I know what I'm doing. No, it's different now. So I really love to hear that. Yeah. Have you found any other mentors in the industry or have you sought out any other women's groups or anything in the industry?
I haven't dabbled into that enough, but I do feel like that I would love to get more into that. There is different people that I listen to, podcasts and, books that are, different mentors for people in home building specifically, because that to us is what we're so passionate about, is home building. And there are different people that I listen to for podcasts, but not one in particular. And I'm inspired today by you, to be honest, about what else can we do to continue to see growth in women in construction and new home building. And I feel like you are on a board, right? Or you had mentioned that.
I am on the board at St. Agnes Medical Center.
Okay. Are you not still on the National Association of Women in Construction?
I'm a member of the group, but I'm not on the board.
Yeah.
I used to be on the board in the 80s. You have to understand, I've been around a while. In the 80s, I was on the board, but as of recently, I'm
you're a member of it.
Yeah,
I actually haven't joined that, so I don't know, what has your experience been with that?
That National Association of Women in Construction is wonderful. And we have a really thriving local community. Mm-hmm. And it's wonderful because it helps to provide training for women in the industry. Mm-hmm. And it also shows where opportunities are. When there's an opening in a job market, they will push that information out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What does recruitment look like for you guys? I'm a big association fan. I've sat, just toot my own horn, beep, beep. I sat on our state association board and our national association board, and I'm so passionate about that work. And a lot of that led us to talking about recruitment and how we get, more qualified individuals. I'm not women, not men, but qualified individuals into these spots. What does that look like for you guys? Do you rely on your associations for stuff like that?
We have an HR department who does handle hiring, but yes, we do. We're part of some associations and we do reach out to them. And, you're always trying to find the most qualified candidate for a position.
Mm-hmm. And are you seeing more women showing interest, or is that something you even track?
No, women are very involved. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Women could, right now, I actually just did a look as to what our stats were for women versus men in our company. And we are 50-50.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Even in this day and age where you feel like that should be where we're at, that those statistics are fabulous.
So Women's
reference.
Equality Day is coming up.
Yes.
So I was looking at it for that.
Yeah, we like to do a post on that. So yeah,
I always share it.
calculate
I love it when you guys do that.
Yeah.
And I think that is super important. So for anybody listening, thinking that maybe this is an industry they want to get into, maybe it sways them in a different way to a different place, knowing that they will feel safer or more welcomed. Paula, did you put together like programs specifically targeting women, or did
No.
it just kind of happen because that's how the leadership was and that's how it just was?
Yeah, I mean, we're open to male or female. It doesn't matter to us. You know, it's just whoever can do the job the best, and are they willing to learn too?
Yeah.
So, you know, we do provide training for anyone on our team and mentoring, and we all enjoy that too.
But yeah, maybe it does help just knowing that 2 of the owners are
Yeah.
women, you know?
It helps.
So yeah, maybe that helps.
It helps. I love to hear that 50-50 statistic. For just frame of reference, the automotive world, about 8% of dealer principals, so about 8% of dealer owners are women.
That's pretty shocking.
Yeah.
That it's
Yeah.
it's sad
Yeah.
at best. So to hear that you guys are doing things differently and that it wasn't like a concerted effort, that's just how it was. Like that's inspiring to me. I love that. So you guys do a lot of building in the community, but not just homes, right? You're involved in other philanthropic things.
Yeah.
Give us a little taste.
You want to talk about?
You want to
Well,
taste
there's
what that is?
two really awesome things. So St. Jude Children's Research Hospital and the St. Jude Dream Home, and then we've also been a part of Extreme Makeover. So I mean, those are 2 of the main things that really stand out for us. So I mean, you could talk about St. Jude if you want.
Well, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital is all about finding the research, doing the research to find cures for children and saving children's lives, really providing a better world. And that aligns with our goals. So we are really passionate about helping St. Jude. We just completed building and donating us and our trades, our 17th St. Jude Dream Home. And in those giveaway programs, we've raised in our community $16.5 million for the hospital.
Wow.
So our community is supporting the program. They're buying the tickets. They understand the need for having research already completed for these children when they're diagnosed with brain cancer or sickle cell anemia or whatever the problem is. And our community has really openly embraced it. So we're getting ready in September to break ground on number 18.
Ooh. So when you guys do those, do you allow community members to come out and help, or is it like, can they like send you Starbucks, or is there other ways for the community to get involved?
Oh yeah, we're open to the community to let us know where they can help. Mainly purchasing the tickets because we have 10,500 tickets to sell. But we are open. Like I had somebody call me and say that Sandy Coors wanted to donate her artistic ability, and she's been now I think on 6 or 7, maybe 8 homes, donated painting in the home. All types of beautiful work. She's very talented. I had another female in the construction industry, call and wanted to donate construction material.
Amazing.
And so we've been accepting her donation through the years. And others maybe want to volunteer. We need people to man the open houses, volunteers to handle the open houses where people can tour the home for free. And then if they'd like to buy a ticket, they have an opportunity to buy a ticket. Or tickets.
Or tickets.
Yeah. So, we welcome the community.
So yeah, you could maybe like donate something, or you could volunteer. Either way, so
That's
people
really neat.
could reach out and get.
Sometimes we'll throw out in social media if we're looking for something. Like about 5 years ago, we did a California beach house theme, and we wanted a surfboard. Yeah. And so we threw out there, we're looking for a surfboard for the St. Jude Dream Home if somebody has one to donate. And we had one delivered to the office within 20 minutes.
That is wild.
Yeah, it was shocking.
That is really cool. But that talks about your reach and the difference that you make in the community and how much the community supports what you're doing.
Yeah.
I think that's really, really special.
Yeah. Obviously, we couldn't do it without them buying tickets every year.
Yeah.
So that 16.5 million is due to the Valley supporting that cause and the kids of St. Jude. So
That's pretty incredible.
yeah.
And do you know if the money stays locally or does it support the national St. Jude?
Yeah.
Well, 100% of the proceeds goes to St. Jude.
Okay.
St. Jude, you have to understand, it is local and it's global. So St. Jude does treat children right here from our valley. You know, it's brain cancer, brittle bone disease, children who really need to be on the most cutting edge of medical treatment. And but then they also treat children globally. So you're helping this very important mission for just treating children locally and globally.
I think that's amazing.
Yeah. They share their research and findings with the world. And so that's why it affects everybody here. So, you know, every time we do maybe like a new interview or promote the Dream Home, they always bring in some of the St. Jude patients that live in the Central Valley who have been treated by St. Jude, but they live here.
Gotcha.
And so, you know, we've seen them grow up from, you know, little
special.
kids to like grown, married, having children of their own. And so but then there have been a few that have passed, and it's like, that's why you keep doing it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it is amazing after 17 years, we, like Ashley said, seeing these children who we met as in elementary school, they've graduated college, married, have children of their own, they're thriving. And there's a statistic that there's 80% survival rate today of childhood cancer. Wow. And I thought, well, that's really high, but is that accurate? And then when I reflected on our experience, all these children that we've met quite a few here in the Valley through these 17 years. It's like Ashley said, we've only lost 2 to brain cancer. Wow. But all the others who've had brain cancer or other life-threatening diseases, they are thriving and living life. And so it's making a difference. What St. Jude is doing on the research side, it's making a difference. And it's like Ashley said, they freely share with every scientist and medical doctor worldwide their findings because they just want children treated and to live.
That's incredible and something I didn't know. So I think it's great that sometimes that stuff, sometimes you don't know what you don't know, and putting it out there, like they share this stuff freely. Yeah. I think that's an incredible cause. And, you know, as a parent now myself,
hits different.
It hits different. That's exactly the right term.
Yeah.
That it's exactly the right term.
And we should all be so grateful for the healthy children in our lives. But wouldn't it be wonderful if the treatment was already discovered? Should a child in your family develop something life-threatening, you actually want that protocol there already.
Exactly.
Yeah. And the local hospitals use the St. Jude protocol when needed. So that's why it's so great that they share it freely. And then that's how it's treated here locally. You know?
I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
So you're breaking ground on number 18 pretty soon. Yay! That's exciting. Yeah. How soon is that happening?
Well, we haven't set the groundbreaking date yet, but we know it's in September. We had a meeting 2 weeks ago with the St. Jude admin team, and we selected the lot. We've selected the house. We know what that is now, and we're now working on the prep work for the groundbreaking.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to follow along. Yeah. And we will link it either to your website or I'll see if I can find something to link in the caption for people to follow along. I'm going to take a little bit of pivot into a little bit more personal questions. So we'll start with family business. And I'm notorious for saying family business is so hard. And I know that for some people it can be super duper hard. And for some people it's less difficult. What's it like for you guys?
I think we really trust each other. So I think that's one thing on the family side. You know each other so well, and we have a real trust. We know that we know each other's workload, and we know if somebody's being overburdened at a certain point in time, the rest of us try to come in and help them. So like Ashley's in the middle of moving, so we know that's always a stressful time. So, you know, we'll kind of rally around her family-wise and team-wise to help her with her workload at the office. And we're also very respectful of each other. So we feel confident that we can tell each other what we think on a certain subject, but we're respectful to listen to what the other person has to say. So we've learned that over time. Like, that's just not easy to learn. You have a lot of bumps in the road in a family business, kind of learning those types of things, but we've learned that and we try to follow that.
Yeah, she said trust, and then I feel like respect. Like, I feel like each of us respect each other. So you have, my parents and my brothers and I respect them, wholeheartedly. And then my brothers and I have a respect for each other as well. And we each have our own areas of the business that we tackle. We know who's really good at X, Y, and Z, and who to go to if you need help for something else. And so we all kind of work together to make like a complete, all around perfect team.
So not everybody's on top of each other trying to do the same thing.
Yeah. So, I feel like thankfully we all get along, and obviously there are times that are difficult,
Amen.
Because it is a family.
Yeah.
So,
100%.
And our team feels like our family too. So, we love to have fun with it. Our family, I feel like also we're into dry humor. So that helps make the day go on if you have fun while you're also working.
I think that's super important.
Lighten the day.
How do you deal with dinner? Dinner's a hard one for us.
Work conversation.
Work conversations at dinner.
It happens. Yeah.
Well, we try and put some constraints on it. So, like in the beginning, my husband and I, we could get into some real arguments at dinner about work. And then we finally learned, just one question or just two questions, and then that's it. You cap it, or just 15 minutes. But somehow you have to cap it. And if you can't, sometimes you can resolve it in that short amount of time. But if you can't, you got to be willing to say, we're tabling it till tomorrow. So
that's the hard one. Once you're in it, being like, I need to set it over here.
Yeah. Well, it definitely happens. And then also for like my husband or the other spouses, they're like, we are not in the industry. Why are we talking about, work? And so, it's nice to try not to talk about it at dinner.
We really try to do that too. I mean, I watch my husband just glaze over. I don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah. And he doesn't want to know.
No, and he does not want to know. It didn't strike me as much until I had kids, and I was watching them get so frustrated because they weren't able to engage. They didn't know. How would they know how? And then I was like, oh, we really got to get a better grip on this. So I always think like, how are dinners and holidays, especially because sometimes holidays is even more family and there's a lot going on. Do you guys find that holidays are easier or harder to navigate?
It's pretty much the same.
I think if there's more family, it makes it easier actually, because there's just a lot of chaos going on, and so you're not really thinking about work nonstop, So I feel like maybe easier.
I love that.
But
I think that's a healthy perspective and maybe not one that everybody has either. Yeah. So I'm going to take that away. 15-minute rule,
Cap
people.
Yeah, exactly.
Another one of my favorite questions is, what do you do when you want to quit? What do you do when you wake up and you're like, what, I don't want to do this today. I don't want to fight the battle. I don't want to.
Yeah, it's a good question.
You want to go first?
Sure. Yeah, I think I just have to get like re-inspired somehow in order to, handle whatever is on my plate that day. So, just a new cup of coffee.
Yeah.
I thrive with my coffee as long as I have my iced coffee. But just doing something to maybe get your mind off of it for a little bit, and then know that if you have something you need to do, that's something that is a project you don't want to tackle, you have to go into it with like full energy.
Yeah.
So whatever you have to do to like get your energy up, maybe you if the afternoon is when you have more energy, you table it for then, or if it's first in the morning, I'm going to work on that and that's it.
Having that piece of self-awareness.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if that's like super specific, but
no,
that's
it's
the
helpful.
first thing that comes to mind. I need my coffee.
I don't know. For me, seriously, after a half a century, I still wake up, love going to work. I just have a passion for it. It's so awesome to be able to know that, you can build a home for a family that's going to create memories.
Yeah.
I love that. And I get to go to work and be with all 3 of my children.
Yeah.
So it's like work is not a 4-letter word to me. Work is a 3-letter word, fun.
I love that. I think that's amazing, and that perspective is amazing. And sorry, people who are not sitting here, you can actually feel that like excitement and that passion. What do you do when you need to recharge?
Yeah, everybody does have to recharge. So I like a quiet space. We have a little beach house, and I like to just go there and recharge there. And it's just my husband and I, and it's just a quiet time to recharge, enjoy the outdoors, a nice little walk with an ocean breeze. Wouldn't that be nice in Fresno right now?
Oh, that would be so nice in Fresno right now.
Instead of the 109-degree heat.
Yeah.
But for me, it's quiet time. Or spending time with the family and girlfriends. I have lots of girlfriends. I love my girlfriends.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, that's perfect.
What about you?
I love talking with my husband. It's probably a weird thing
Nope.
to say, but yeah, I have to get everything that's in my brain out, and he listens, and he's
Patient.
he's very patient. And yeah, he's just great, and he loves the industry too, even though he's not in our industry. He loves it. So if I have to work wise get something out of my brain, he'll happily listen. And so yeah, I think just talking with him, we like that. So.
How special to have a relationship like that. Do you guys ever do any recharging together, like a spa day?
Well,
pre-children.
Pre-children.
Yeah. Life is crazy with 2 kids.
Pre-grandchildren.
Definitely done some spa days together.
Yeah.
It's been a while, long overdue.
I love that. I think that you guys need to leave here and schedule a spa day.
Yeah.
I think
Go to the beach.
It's important.
Spa day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Well, I really appreciate your candor, and thank you, ladies, so much for sharing and for being here. Your passion and engagement is palpable, and I think that's going to come through to all our listeners. We'll tag the St. Jude. Is there anything, what's a piece of advice that you would leave with a woman who's maybe wanting to get into a construction or construction related industry, who has some apprehension?
I'd say 2 things. When you arrive, know that you were invited to the meeting because you have something to provide. So give your background information, your education, any credentials, experience, provide that to the group so they know that you're there for a reason. And also, I say do your research in advance, get your homework done in advance, and when you show up prepared for anything. So I may wear high heels, but I always carry, like Ashley had said, my construction boots and my hard hat with me. I'm good for anything that the day may throw at me. So be prepared and let others know that you are there for a reason, and come with confidence.
Yeah, I would say similar to that, but also just the being bold to, not have a stigma in your head. Be prepared to say whatever you feel like is right to say, and not being, like she's saying, being confident. If you're constantly improving and learning and doing, education, I think that would help too. So, maybe find other mentors locally, or listen to podcasts and, read different books that are about the industry, because the more you know, the more it will help you, and you won't feel like you have that imposter syndrome.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I just feel like coming with that confidence and being bold to say what you want is probably the best thing that you could do. But in order to get to that point, you do need to have enough knowledge and education and understanding of the industry first,
I think those are both incredible pieces of advice. And thank you, ladies, so much for sharing with us
Thank
today.
you for inviting us.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
A huge thank you to our incredible guests for sharing their stories, wisdom, and breaking down barriers with us. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. Your support means the world to me and helps spread the word about the amazing women paving the road less traveled in male-dominated industries. If you have suggestions for a future guest or topic you'd like me to explore, please reach out on social media. I'd love to hear from you. Follow me on your favorite social platform for updates and behind the scenes. Keep pushing boundaries, challenging norms, and lifting each other up.